Marketing students. I am coming to you with my first video lesson for you. I don't do this very often, so apologize if it's not that great, but hopefully we'll get better as we go. If you do happen to hear my dog barking, sometimes he does do that if he sees some stuff happening outside. I am just sitting in my living room, so excuse him if you do hear him barking. But I'm going to try to keep this pretty short and go through this fairly quickly. But I wanted to talk to you about positioning and competitive advantage. And that is where we are going to start with our video lesson today. So I believe we've talked about competitive advantage before, but basically what this is exactly what it says, that you have an advantage over your customers by offering you have an advantage over your competitors by making sure that you offer your customers the best value for their money. And a position of a business or its product or its service is where it falls in its market segment. And market segment means is it a retail business? Is it a restaurant? Is it a hotel? Is it a department store? That's its market segment. And so its position is where it falls within that market. So by that I mean you could be number 1 in a particular segment, or you could be number 25. So we're going to get into a little bit more detail about positioning. The purpose of it is to make sure that your product or your service stands out. You want your product or your service to stand out above your competitors because ultimately, hopefully that means that people are going to buy your product or buy your service. Positioning is also about perception. It's about how your customers perceive your product. If they have a high value perception of it, that means they're going to buy your product. If they don't, then they probably won't. So you want to make sure that the way your customers perceive you is how you really are. So sometimes a company might see itself differently from how its customers see it and how its customers view their products. And that could be difficult because if you're not able to market yourself correctly based on how your customers view you or how you want your customers to view you, then they may not buy your product or your service, and then that means that you're not making a profit. Your target market, I know we've talked about this before, target marketing and positioning. You need to know who your target market is. These are the customers that are most likely to purchase your product or your service. And to connect that to positioning, you need to think about your target market, but you also need to focus on how your product or your service is perceived. And make sure that you're marketing for both of those things because you want to either continue to have loyal customers or build new customers. You do have to keep in mind that you can't make everybody happy. You're just trying to make your target market happy so you can survive. As a marketer, there are a couple questions you should ask yourself when you're thinking about positioning. Are we number 1 in our market? And if not, how are our competitors positioned? If you're not number 1 and you want to look at your competitors, there are a couple other questions that you need to ask yourself. Do we have enough money to position our product or our service similarly to the market leader? So if you're number 5 in a market, do you have the resources to be able to try to make yourself move into the number 1 spot? Which that can be very difficult. You guys know that when you're talking about making drastic changes possibly to products or services or offering something new, it could take a lot of money, a lot of time and effort to do that. So as a marketer in a business, you have to make sure that you have the resources to be able to take over a market if that's what you're trying to do. If you're not, though, if you want to stay in number 5 or whatever other number that you might be, you need to try to find an unoccupied position in the market, meaning find something that nobody else is doing. And Target is a really good example of this. They have a lot of resources because they have a lot of money and a lot of people, and they have a lot of notoriety because they're so popular. But Target is all the time changing the products that they offer. They're changing the vendors that they use, the kinds of products they offer. Like, are they offering environmentally friendly products. They are always staying on top of trends. So Target is a good example of a business who's really found a certain market and hones in on that on a regular basis. Some strategies to look at when you're thinking of positioning: the product attributes, and attributes mean its qualities. What does it have? What does it offer? What is it about it that would make people want to buy that particular product? What are the benefits of using this product or service? The usage occasions. So when do people use it? Do they use it every day, or maybe just for a special occasion or seasonal? Who are your users? Who's your target market? How do you look against your competitors? And are there different product classes within what you're offering? Is it a luxury brand? Is it something that's more common every day? Things like that. We're going to quickly look at the 4 P's of marketing in relation to positioning. The first P, product or service. What does the customer want? What needs does this satisfy? How and where will customers use it? And how is our product different from our competitors? Place, in terms of positioning, where do buyers look for our product or service? How can you access the right distribution channels? Do you need a sales force? Do you need to attend trade fairs, send samples to catalog companies? How can you get your product out there to people who are going to buy it? And what do your competitors do? How can you learn from what your competitors are doing and maybe do something similar or do something very different from what they're doing? Price. What is the value of your product or service to your customers? Is there an established price point for the product that you're offering? So is there already a certain standard of price for whatever it is that you're offering? A price point means, like, where does the price of this product begin? Where does it start? What's the average price of this product in your area? Are your customers price sensitive? Will a small decrease in price gain you extra market share? Or would an increase in price affect you the opposite way and cause you to lose customers? Do you want to offer any discounts to trade customers or other segments of your market? And how does your price compare with your competitors? And then promotion is the last part of positioning. Where and when can you get your message to target markets? How will you reach your audience? Are you going to use TV, radio, billboards, internet? What's the best time to promote your product? Is it a seasonal product, something in the summer or Christmas? Or are there other issues that might dictate timing, like back to school, or right now during this pandemic? There are businesses that are using this opportunity to promote their products in ways that it could be useful for helping fight this pandemic that we're currently facing with the COVID-19. How do your competitors promote, and how does that influence your promotional activity? The picture I have there might seem kind of funny to go with a promotion, but what it is, back in 2005, Snapple wanted to move from making drinks to moving into the popsicle market. So what they did in order to promote themselves was create the world's largest popsicle. And that's what this picture is right here. This is the world's largest popsicle that Snapple created. So Snapple knew that they needed to do some kind of promotion because they were trying to change their position from focusing solely on drinks to adding the popsicle market. So they created this popsicle and put it on display in New York City. The problem was that it was a very hot summer day, which is logical because people buy popsicles in the summer probably more often than they do other times, but it caused this giant popsicle to melt. As you can see, there's a big mess here. So this was a disaster for Snapple. This kind of promotion was a disaster for them. And I did look and see, I've never had a Snapple popsicle, but I did do some research on the internet, and they are available. But I think, and maybe you know about them, but I think maybe my lack of knowledge and never seeing them in the grocery store means that this promotion didn't really help them very much. There are other ways that they could have done this. Maybe they were in New York City and they handed out popsicles to people for free or something like that, instead of creating this big giant one that ended up being a disaster for them. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, feel free to send me an email or schedule a Zoom conference and we can go over positioning. But I do have an assignment for you and I want to go over that really quickly. What I want you to do with this assignment is locate a print ad or a commercial that caught your attention recently. Copy and paste the ad or a link to the commercial below and then answer the following questions. So you're going to put your picture or the link to your commercial right here. Why did you select this ad or commercial? What about it caught your attention? You need to say more than because I liked it. What position does this product or company have compared to its competitors in the same market? So you may need to do some research here. Does it fall in, are they number 1 in their market? Are they number 10? And I can show you really quickly how you can do some research here. You could type into Google market share of the fast food industry. You can see where I've searched that already before. And I'll just show you the first link here. It gives us some information about the top 50 fast food markets. So you could look at the top 50, see McDonald's is number 1. You can go through here and check out some others. Chipotle is number 18. Popeyes is number 20. So this would give you some information about where your business would fall in the market. So what this one basically means is that more customers are going to McDonald's than any of the other restaurants. They're spending more money at McDonald's than they are at any of these other places. So you should do some kind of search to answer question number 2. Number 3, who's the target market for this ad or commercial? We've talked a lot about demographics and some of the other issues that you can use to connect to a business's or a product's target market. So use that information that we've learned before to tell what kind of target market you think this ad is for. You need to provide details here, and you cannot just say everyone. You might need to research this product or this company's target market on the internet. And sometimes you can simply type in who is the target market for Nike or whatever company you're choosing, and it'll give you some information on their target market. And then the last question is, do you think this ad or commercial is trying to change the product or company's position? So are they number 5 and they're trying to move up, or do you think they're just trying to maintain where they are? More than a yes or no is required here, so you'll need to describe it just a little bit. And again, if you have any questions about this, feel free to send me an email or reach out for a Zoom conference or something. But I quickly wanted to show you an example. I selected the Little Caesars Better Than Sliced Bread commercial, or Best Thing Since Sliced Bread commercial. I'm not going to show it to you, but you can click here and watch it if you'd like to. And you may have seen that, but I answered the first question so you could get an idea of what I'm looking for here. So you could take a look at this. Why did I select this ad? And I typed a couple different things here. I'm not going to read everything to you because I don't want to waste your time doing that, but you can read this here. It caught my attention because I thought it was funny. And then it uses a common idiom implying that Little Caesars pizza is the best pizza. And then it also brought to life this common saying by creating a business called Sliced Bread. So this will hopefully gives you a little bit of an idea of what I'm looking for in terms of your responses here. I did not answer the other ones because I want you to be able to do those on your own. But again, feel free to contact me with any questions. So I will post all of this in Google Classroom for you. You can look for a new video from me each week. And I miss all of you, and I hope all of you are doing well. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.